Well, for organics, we do about 10 tons a week. So we collect about 10 tons a week of composting. And that again comes from the backs of kitchens, that comes from students from the residence halls, that comes from offices. The majority of what we collect is being used. There will be a slight percentage that's going to eventually go to the landfill. Simply because a place like UVM is going to be, we're living in a time where people are learning about composting, but they're not really sure what it is. They might see somebody throw a fork in there, and they say, oh, I saw a plastic fork, and I'm going to throw a plastic fork in there, but it might not be compostable. Or a clamshell case, or they know Green Mountain cups are sometimes compostable, but they might have a cup that's from Dunkin' Donuts or from Starbucks. So there is a certain amount of sort of, I don't want to call it accepted contamination, for lack of a better phrase, because we're instituting this system and because we're trying to get everybody on board, we have a degree of acceptable contamination that we know, that we work with Green Mountain Compost, and they say, okay, you can now give us this and we'll be able to process it into a final product that they can sell without those contaminants being in there.
I'm pretty sure like even some like the plastics here are like plant-based and they're compostable as well. So I mean, like with things like coffee lids and stuff, I always separate and put into the recycling versus the composting.
I don't know, I feel like it's pretty easy now. Like there's a clear bin, you just like throw your food in.
It's nice that everything is labeled where the food goes, and I always know where to put things, but if I'm in a rush, honestly, I don't always do it.
All this packaging, if we're going to be creative, they might just throw away whatever's in their hand if there's a trash container nearby, and they may not walk an extra 25, 35, 45 feet to go access a recycling container. So one of the first things we do is to try to make sure they're all together, all over campus. We're going to try to have our recycling and our trash containers together. We're not at the point yet where we have composting at every container, but we still try to make it as easy as possible.
When we go around the corner, you'll see where we blend them together on a daily basis and mix the batches. And then everything kind of in this side is where we process the compost as it's coming out of the active stage. So active composting in our process takes anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks, and after that we screen it and get the fine material that we eventually will sell. Bring that out to cure, and then everything else gets further processed either to remove wood chips and put back in the front end, or if there's overs that we don't want in the final product, we remove those at that point. 1 to 1.5 days worth of food to fill a bag per our recipe. Once it's full, we then actually leave it there for about 2 weeks, we turn on fans, and the pile starts to become aerated. Oxygen is brought to the microbes that actually do the composting, and they start heating up. So the food that comes in at ambient temperature, even in the middle of winter, can easily be 130, 140 degrees Fahrenheit within about a day. The staff at UVM has done a really good job with eco-reps and others educating the student body about what is compostable or is not. There's great signage. UVM has always been a leader in the environmental and sustainable education end of things, and they've always held composting as an important thing. Even before it was legislated and even before it was cool, UVM has always, in the last quarter century, thought composting was pretty important. So we're glad to be working with the university now and historically. It becomes more stable. If something large pickup trucks also recommend 10 or 12.
And so a lot of it is just storytelling and getting the story out there and getting people to know not only why we're doing it, but how you can do it. Because a lot of times it's, you're really busy. Students are busy, staff are busy, faculty are busy, and a lot of people don't really know or take the time to kind of figure out what they can do and how, how easy it is, where the containers are, what can be composted, what can be recycled. So it's I wouldn't call it a constant battle, it's a fun battle, but we're constantly trying to educate and help people wherever they need it.